Mr. Omar Kamal, Segment Manager, and on behalf of all of you, let me welcome the Facebook. قاعة University of Rطوم, Mr. Marcus Salima, the Facebook Director, Mr. Hakim Dennis, the Head of Mobile Partnership, I would like to thank them for being with us and kindly accepting this invitation and giving us the opportunity to listen and discuss with them how Facebook can positively impact our lives, how Facebook can impact e-commerce startups, how Facebook, the appropriate use of Facebook can contribute to the welfare of the people of Sudan. Finally, I would like to thank Zain and our graduates from the University of Rطوم for making this happen. For giving us this opportunity, and I think this should be always the case between the top university in Sudan and the top telecom operator in Sudan. And let me now introduce Mr. Zain, the Marketing Director of Zain, to brief the audience. Mr. Zain.
أشكر جامعة الخميس في كلية العلوم الرياضية لاستضافتها الكريمة لنا في هذه الندوة، ويجب أن أرحب بالحضور الكريم وبضيوفنا من فيسبوك، بالإضافة لزملائنا من شركة زين. نحن الذي جايينكم معنا ناس فيسبوك بعد ما وضعنا معاهم الشراكة الاستراتيجية. الهدف الأساسي منها خدمة المجتمع السوداني، جعل التواصل حق للجميع. هدفنا نخلي كل المجتمع السوداني يتواصل مع بعض، عنده اكسس او عنده امكانيه الدخول للمواقع المفيده بالنسبه له. هي ما بس فيسبوك، هي مجموعه متكامله من الخدمات بتحتوي لنا على مواقع تعليميه، مواقع بتاعت معلومات، مواقع صحيه، مواقع بتخص المراه، بتحتوي على كثير من المواقع الثانيه. هي خدمه متكامله بنعمل بها اننا نخدم المجتمع السوداني ككل، ونخدم بها مشتركيننا في زين على وجه الخصوص ان شاء الله. شكرا جزيلا.
تهدف لتوفير معلومات مهمه جدا من مواقع ذات مصداقيه عاليه، بتساعدهم كثير في بحوثهم. والفرصه الثانيه انه نلقى شركه زي شركه فيسبوك بتقدر تشارك المعلومات الموجوده عندها في الانظمه بتاعتها او الاستراتيجيه بتاعتها في انها كيف تغير في حياه الناس بمشروع مهم جدا زي مشروع فري بيزكس. طيب عايزين ندي نبذه بسيطه عن الشراكه والاستفاده لكم انتم من الشراكه ومن المنتج ده. الشراكه دي يعني واحده من اهدافها المهمه جدا هي توثيق العلاقه بين السودان وامريكا بعد رفع الحظر. فكان زين لها قدم السبق في انها تاخذ اول شراكه بعد رفع الحظر الاقتصادي. زين هي الشركه الرائده في مجال الاتصالات في السودان، اول شركه اتصالات عندها اكبر عدد مشتركين وجوده اكبر واوسع تغطيه واكبر شركه موزعين معتمدين. والطرف الثاني هي فيسبوك غنيه عن التعريف، اكبر منصه للتواصل الاجتماعي في العالم بعدد مشتركين بيساوي 2 مليار في الشهر. فالهدف الاساسي اللي قامت به المشروع انه من حق كل انسان يلقى امكانيه انه يتواصل عبر الانترنت كحق بصوره ذات تكلفة أو ذات أعباء بسيطة من الناحية المالية. وده واحد من الأهداف والوعود اللي بتقوم بها زين بتوعد المشتركين بتاعنا إنه بيساعدهم في تحقيق أهدافهم. وعشان كده طلعنا بالسلوغان بتاعنا إنه من حق كل إنسان فيسبوك مجاني. طيب النتيجة كان المنتج اللي هو فري بيزكس. فري بيزكس هي شنو؟ مجموعة من الخدمات مقدمة بصورة مجانية تماما من غير ما تستهلك من باقة الإنترنت بتاعتك أو من رصيدك. يعني حتى لو أنت مشترك في الباقة بتخش الخدمة دي بصورة مجانية، ما عندك اشتراك في باقة وعندك رصيد بتخش الخدمة بصورة مجانية، ما عندك باقة ما عندك رصيد بتخش الخدمة بصورة مجانية من غير أي قيود. الهدف الأساسي لفري بيزكس إنها تشيل الأعباء والحواجز الموجودة لأنه الناس يقدروا يشتركوا أو يخشوا الإنترنت ويبقوا أونلاين ويلقوا الكونكتيفيتي. فري بيزكس بتنقل الناس من الناحية بتاع المجتمعات. حاليا السودان فيه حوالي 70% غير مشتركين في الإنترنت. فلما يلقى المشتركين يعني إمكانية للوصول للإنترنت بصورة مجانية بتكسر واحد من أهم الحواجز وتخليهم يكونوا أونلاين. المجالات اللي بتخدمها المنتج ده هي مجالات التعليم والصحة والإخبارية والتوظيف والاتصال. أهم شيء كان الاتصال واللي هي عبر تطبيقي فيسبوك والماسنجر. هما التطبيقين دي طبعا كلكم عارفين انه تقدر تدخل الخدمتين اما بالتطبيق او عبر المتصفح او البراوزر URL. الجانب الثاني المجالات دي حتساعد مجموعه كبيره. يعني احنا تكلمنا عن مجال الطلبه. حاليا يعني واحده من المواقع المتاحه موقع ويكيبيديا. انا اعتقد انه هو موقع مهم جدا والطلبه بيحتاجوه في البحوث بتاعتهم كمصدر اساسي للمعلومات، فبيفيدهم جدا. في موقع ويكي هاو واحد من المواقع اللي بيقدم زي طرق عشان تساعد الناس ينجزوا مهام معينه. موقع BBC نيوز تلقى الاخباريات لحد اللحظه الموجوده في الموقع الاخباري وخدمات اخرى. التكنولوجيا بتغير في حياه الناس الانترنت. يعني نحن اذا ضربنا مثل بسيط انه كيف التكنولوجيا والانترنت بيغير في حياه الناس، اذا تكلمنا عن الليله ميكانيكي ما داير يخش الانترنت، ما داير يتحمل الاعباء بتاعت انه يكون عنده باقه. لما يلقى الفرصه امكانيه دخول الانترنت بصوره مجانيه بيقدر يعرض خدماته ويسوق خدماته بصوره مجانيه وياخذني من تليفونه. يعني شوفوا حجم التواصل والشبكه اللي هو يتعرض لها وممكن تغير حياته بصوره كبيره. انتشار الخدمه بصوره اكبر برضه بيوفر امكانيه للمؤسسات انها تتخاطب مع جمهور اكبر. يعني حاليا عدد المشتركين الانترنت 30%، اذا زادوا شوفوا حجم الريتشابيليتي وامكانيه الوصول لعدد اكبر عبر التقنيه. طيب كيف تتمتع بالخدمه دي؟ حاليا الخدمه موفره عبر زين. انت محتاج يكون عندك سيم كارد من زين. لو عندك اشتراك او ما عندك اشتراك تفتح خدمه البيانات، تنشط البيانات عندك، مش تشترك في باقه، تنشط البيانات من الهاتف. تدخل على موقع freebasics.com او فيسبوك، الموقعين متاحات، تدخل عليهم طوالي. واذا انت كنت من المستخدمين للاندرويد، نظام التشغيل اندرويد، ممكن تعمل داونلود من الجوجل بلاي لفري بيزك، الابلكيشن بتاع فري بيزكس او التطبيق بتاع فيسبوك. حاليا عبر الاي او اس او الايفون الخدمه دي ما بيتمتعوا بها المشتركين لانه ما متوفره في الاي او اس، لكن اذا انت مستخدم للاندرويد عبر التطبيق بتدخل طوالي. وفي أي نظام تشغيل بتقدر تتمتع بالخدمة دي في المتصفح أو في البراوزر. يعني هي في النهاية ما في حواجز. إذا أنت كان عندك سمارت فون، هاتف ذكي أو فيتشر فون، لو التلفونات تذكر النوكيا 6010، فأنت ممكن طوالي تفتح الداتا وتكتب اسم الموقع وطوالي تتمتع بالخدمة، وكده بتكون قدرت تتمتع بالخدمة. طيب طيب الفائدة الأساسية والكبيرة بالنسبة لمشروع زي ده وشراكة بين زين وفيسبوك إنه بنقدر نزيد عدد مشتركي ومستخدمي الإنترنت في السودان، وده بيفتح فرص كبيرة. أنتم كلكم في المجال الرقمي، وبتقدروا تعرفوا إنه وجود عدد مشتركين أكبر بيستخدموا الإنترنت تظهر فرص كبيرة للمطورين، بتظهر فرص كثيرة وكبيرة للشركات أن تقدم خدماتها عبر الإنترنت، وفي النهاية بيؤدي لزيادة كبيرة اقتصاديا في البلد، لأنه الإحصاءات أثبتت أنه زيادة 10% من مستخدمي الإنترنت بيؤدي لزيادة 1% في الجي دي بي التوتال بتاع البلد. فبما أنه إحنا عندنا روم كبيرة 70% ما داخلين الإنترنت، فنعتقد وزين بتعتقد إنه الحاجة دي ممكن تكون إضافة أساسية وكبيرة للبلد في إنها تقدم خدماتها. بنشكركم في الآخر على الاستماع، ونتمنى إنه الخدمة دي تكون إضافة حقيقية، لأنه زين كانت دائما سباقة إنها تقدم خدمات جيدة وتكون عندها إضافة حقيقية للمشتركين وللمجتمع بصورة كبيرة. شكرا لكم.
بدي الآن الفرصة لأخونا حكيم يدينا. طبعا الناس كلها جايه تتكلم عن الإمباكت بتاع الفيسبوك، فنسمع عن الفيسبوك من الفيسبوك. تفضل يا استاذ.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Rطوم University. Thank you, Zain. We're really excited to start this partnership between Zain Sudan and between Facebook for Zain people, for Sudan people. I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook and how we see what we do is important for the world. So Facebook's mission is to give power to share and make the world more open and connected. We want to connect everyone, and we want to give everyone a voice, be a global society. We are hopeful and optimistic that we can get there, and we believe that the future is to get the people together to be a global community. No matter whether they are a mother, a refugee, young, a businessman, entrepreneur, we believe that we all need to be part of this community, and we can bring people together. Yet today there are 4 billion people on the planet that are not connected to the internet. So this is important beyond connectivity, since we know that 10 out of 10 people who are connected, 1 person gets lifted out of poverty. So this is definitely very important work. Our roadmap is to show you how we are, as a company, trying to tackle these challenges. These are the applications that we develop within Facebook and the number of people that use these applications between WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram. And most of our users are outside of the US for most of these platforms. We all have a desire to be understood and to relate to each other. And so we're looking for ways to express ourselves. We also know that sometimes we want to chat one-to-one, or we want to chat with a small group, or a group of friends, the community, or the world. And so we're creating these apps to help you share your experiences with all kinds of people that you want to share it with. So we have a playbook to build these services: technology, products, and ecosystems. We first build technologies that can help people connect in new ways like never before. Then we take these technologies and build it into a product. We think 1 billion people or more can use or benefit from. Once this product is at scale, we build an ecosystem around it with developers and businesses. This is our roadmap for the next 10 years. Between technologies, products, and ecosystems. Today we will be speaking about some of these. Let's tackle the first one, which is connectivity. Connectivity right now, like we said earlier, there are 4 billion people on Earth who are not connected to internet. From outer space, it is clear we all live in one planet. Yet, when it comes to connectivity, right now there are 2 words. There is the connected world and the unconnected world. And the world where most people have the internet access, about 3 billion, and the rest of the people without it. Most of the people on the planet don't have access to internet. 4.2 billion people. There is no single coverage map for the world, but through our data, we can provide a good proxy, a good estimation. For us, the connected world looks like this. It's everyone with a 4G or a 3G connection. The speeds that would require to do normal internet usage. And then there is the unconnected world. The world of people who live outside of range of mobile broadband. It also includes 2G coverage, where people have limited access or functionality. You can see the dark areas of the map where there's nothing at all. Let's take Sudan, for example. This is where 2G, 3G, and 4G coverage map. As you can see, there are still a lot of improvements in connecting people. Let's try to break down these numbers a little more. According to reports, 3.4 billion people of the world 4.2 who are unconnected only come from 20 countries. Out of those, 920 million do not know how to read or write. And more than 1 billion people live outside of range of a mobile network. So the gap is not going to close very easily. And there are real barriers to connectivity and to internet. So why is this all important? Why is internet important? Why is connecting to internet important? Better internet means better education, better health, better economic growth. According to Deloitte, connected, the developing world can create 140 million jobs and lifts 160 million people out of poverty. Connecting to internet can reduce child mortality by 7% and can save lives to 2.5 million people. It can also give 640 million people or children access to cost-effective learning tools and resources. Like it's been highlighted before, we know that connecting to internet directly contributes to GDP growth. But it's not about just the data. It's about the people affected by connectivity. When people are connected, we achieve amazing things. We can become closer to people we care about. We can get new jobs, new opportunities, new ideas. We can receive education, healthcare, communication, and other services that make life better. Technology is not progress by itself, but it enables us many things that we all care about. But technology has to serve our whole society. Connectivity is just as a privilege for the rich and powerful. It has to be an opportunity for everyone. So this is why we have created Internet.org and 3 Basics partnership program. The mission is to connect the 2/3 of the world population who's not yet connected to the internet. So when we look at the barriers for why people are not connected, we can identify 3 main barriers. Infrastructure is one barrier, affordability and relevance. Let's start with infrastructure. So to simply set up fiber infrastructure would cost a lot of money, and organizations would not be interested in recouping their investments. So we need to find ways to connect people that's both efficient and cost effective. These are the new ways we're trying to reach people who live beyond the reach of existing data. This is a map of how we try to approach infrastructure. Terrestrial, UAVs, and satellites. Each of these solutions are like building blocks when put together in unique configurations that are appropriate for a particular region. They can make an order of magnitude in terms of improvements. We want to accelerate the state for technology to connect people in a way that would make it clear financial sense for the operators and the partners. I will jump into one example of this, which is Aquila, unmanned airline vehicle. Aquila is a high-altitude, solar-powered unmanned vehicle. The idea is to take it outside of cities that are not connected. This vehicle will fly at 65,000 feet and will stay in the air for about 3 months. It is powered by solar energy. And the idea of it is to act as a replacement for backhaul or terrestrial connectivity. It's as wide as a 737, but weighs only 1/3 of a Toyota Prius. It's made from custom fiber material that's stronger than steel. Let me show it to you. As an example of how hard this is, imagine holding a laser pointer in your hand and trying to hit a target the size of a dime at 11 miles away. Not only that, but the planes flying in circles in their own areas, and ups and downs with the sun rising and the sun setting. The laser has to be able not only to hit the target that's far away, but also the target that's moving. That's a lot of work. And it has to stay up in the air for 3 months continuous. Obviously, no human can do this. That's why they are unmanned. So we've built heat tracking systems to help with this, as you can see here in action. As the plane circles, rise and fall, the lasers will be compelled to the target. It's like a mechanical watch with a bunch of gears moving in unison. It's a good visual example. This June in Arizona, Aquila craft took the first to the sky for the second time, and it flew for 1 hour and 46 minutes. I landed perfectly on the site the crew has dubbed Aquila Beach. We will now take what we've learned from this initial flight, and we will make improvements to develop a broader Aquila system for connectivity. Of course, an important step would be to partner with local partners to make this work. Let's talk about relevance as one of the other barriers for connectivity. The majority of the unconnected population in emerging markets are not aware of internet. You take Sudan, for example. From our research, we see that 69% of people are not aware of all the benefits of internet. If you do not know what is a megabyte or what is the internet, you will not know the value for that. Affordability is also a big barrier. We see that in a lot of areas, connecting to internet remains prohibitive and expensive. So what are the solutions? Free Basics is one example, such as what we launched with Zain. It works on feature phone and it works on smartphone. And it provides various categories of useful information to be able to educate and be online. What is the progress so far? We've been able to connect 40 million people in the last 2 years and a half or so. And we have over 1,050 services globally in 63 countries and 92 operators. This is including Zain Sudan. So yes, I believe internet access is essential for achieving humanity's global goals. Our next focus is on building developer community, as I know you are all students. So let's talk about entrepreneurship. Our mission also is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. For the last 10 years, our approach on investing in developer community has been twofold: building programs and products. We launched the Developer Circle at FAs, which is our annual conference. Today we're proud to say that we have 98 communities in 50 countries, and they're representing 75,000 developers. How about Middle East and North Africa? This is the markets where we have these local developer circles. If we want to make Facebook a safe place for everyone to come and to express themselves. And as you can imagine, with 2 billion people on the planet using Facebook, it's a great challenge, because there is a lot of bad actors out there. This is just the nature of society. There's bad people, there's good people. People with good intent and people with bad intent. And so when you have a platform such as Facebook, you will have some people with bad intent trying to come and spread bad information, or spread hate, or spread terrorism, or want to do gun trafficking, or human trafficking, child trafficking, or any other type of content that is inciting violence and inciting hate. And so we take this very seriously, because we want to provide a platform that is safe for our users, and we use a lot of technologies to try to detect this type of content in whichever dialect it is. So we have a group of experts who can pretty much study all of these dialects and identify and detect when a particular piece of content is not complying to the guidelines of the platforms, and so it is removed. So the short story is that we care deeply about the safety of our platform, and we have a lot of measures in place to ensure that. And as you can see, the Facebook continues to grow, and we continue to be a platform for everyone to share a voice, as long as we are respectful of.
I want to make a comment concern about what you say about explaining. And I think, and I'm a student at the University of Rطوم, but I became the former student at the University of Rطوm, economic. I think it's very important to educate our people and concern about how the people are going to use Facebook or internet and so on, because you mentioned before that and some people who don't know how to use even a smartphone and whatever and so on. And during my forum, and when I traveled to Ethiopia, I found a lot of Sudanese that asked me some questions about, or forcing me some questions and about what about the Sudanese, because we were discussing about and how the Sudanese community or people would use internet and so on, because now we are going to be in the globalization war, which means the people should be, how to use a smartphone and whatever, and computer and so on. Because if you go back to our village and places in northern Sudan or eastern Sudan, and we found that people even don't know how to use a very simple phone, but how are you explaining that and telling our students? But I know that and during the platform of the students, maybe some of them are very smart, using a smartphone and so on, telling our community. I think it's very important. The one point I want to mention is, and very important and significant for the students community and all of us, and we're able to educate our people, teaching our people to know how to use phone. Even not just a student, if you go back to different countries in Africa and Tanzania and Uganda and whatever and so on, they found people even you don't know how to use. But it is almost, I used to say that Khartoum is the basic place for sending the message to around the world by saying that this we have potential students, those who know how to use phone, we know how to teach. Even our doctors at the university, they know how to deal with the people. But what I found that answer the students, or answer the teachers, or answer our intellectual people, even you don't know even you don't know how, but the lack of the ability, capacity for using or for telling them the good message or explaining the exercises that how the people will be have good overcome about that, because the Zain company and they make it very important and let me say and internet, whatever and so on, how the people will use that. But for us, and it is maybe I can say that it's good for making this kind of the forum or this program to open the people on the ideas how the people would be, and because most of the students here will be sending the message all around the Sudan and all our countries, all our states, in order to how we're going to use kind of message to the people in order to be able to fund. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you for the question. Great question. All of this comes down to a few things. We see that the success of societies, communities, quickly adopting technologies comes from one-to-one interactions. What do I mean by one-to-one? So each one of us, when we have used the internet for the first time, or when we have used any other means of technology for the first time, there was someone to show us. And so this is a collective effort. If we want to make progress, it is up to you and us collectively to be internet champions. What will you do to your neighbor, to your father, to your friend, to your cousin? So it's an invitation to all of you actually to show other people how to connect to the internet for the first time. If each one of you just showed one person, it will greatly help. Usually we see that this is how these mass accelerations of adoption to technologies happen, is through one-to-one interactions. I hope I have a reply to your question.
If I have a profile, or I have an account on Facebook that is, I hear some of people in almost the Facebook group say that if I want to make my profile accurate, I have to have the most followers. I think more than 1,000 followers. Is it true that make my profile is strong and secure, or this is not one of the right things, I think, and thank you.
We provide a lot of tools to make sure that you secure your account in terms of authentication, in terms of passwords, in terms of explaining all the different features that you can use to protect yourself and protect privacy for your account or your page, etc. I think you were referring to verified pages, if I'm not mistaken. We use verified pages or verified profiles in cases where there is impersonation of these accounts. But for us, that's one way to verify and legitimately attribute a certain account or a certain profile.
Communication is really something that is up to you. We don't judge you based on the number of followers that you have or the number of likes or the number of groups you've joined. You are free to choose the media yourself. If you want to do one-on-one communication, use a media like WhatsApp or the messenger function on Facebook. If you want to limit the communication to a group of friends or family, create a group and keep the communication within that group. It's really up to you with what you're comfortable with and what feels right for you and what suits the way you want to live your life and what kind of level of privacy you want to have.
I think you really get my idea. I'm asking about if I want to make my profile secure. That is very important to have more than 1,000 followers, or this is not a rule?
It's not required.
Okay, thank you so much.
You said that 69% of people of Sudan are not connected, do not use the internet or Facebook. So, do you think that this opportunity will change this percent so fast? What is your vision? Thank you.
So obviously, like we said, barriers to connectivity are multiple. So if you want to break down the number of people who are not connected to internet in Sudan, you will find various barriers. You will find the first category where people don't have signal. And so that's an infrastructure problem. Even if they have money, even if they want internet and they know what it is, they don't have signal. They live in an area where it's not economically viable for the telecommunication partner to expand coverage. The geography in Sudan is big. So that's the first category. The second category, you will find people who want internet but cannot afford it. So that's affordability. Another bucket is if people can afford it but they don't know what it is. So that's relevance. So they don't know what are the benefits. Yes, they live in a coverage area, they have signal, and they have money, but they don't know what is the internet good for. They are content with just making SMS and making voice calls. And so, unless someone shows them the full potential of internet, they won't know about it. Of course, other categories of barriers such as device and culture and other socio-economic barriers can be there.
في الشراكة بينه وبين شركة فيسبوك ده بيساعدنا أو ساعدنا فعليا إننا نقدم خدمة بتاع دخول الإنترنت بصورة مجانية. إحنا عارفين كويس من الدراسات كلنا عايشين وسط المجتمع السوداني إنه واحدة من المشاكل إنه الناس تدخل الإنترنت الأفوردابيلتي أو الإمكانيات المادية. الشراكة دي بتتيح لنا إنه كل الناس بتقدر تخش الإنترنت على الأقل للمواضيع المهمة اللي تخدم حياتنا اليومية، منها منصات التواصل الاجتماعي ومنها المواقع تحت المعلومات أو المواقع التعليمية أو المواقع الصحية أو كده. دي بتكون مجانا، فبيبقى على الأقل واحد من الباريرز أو واحد من الحواجز بين المشتركين وإنه يخشوا الإنترنت. ساهمنا في إنه يشيلوا التغطية الجغرافية للشبكة ذاتها تقريبا 90% من الناس مغطين بالشبكة. فكده ده بيبدأ يساعدنا كثير إننا نزيل الحاجة.
There's a very big option for pages and like buying products and so. Can you please give us a summary about the hints and the opportunities of Facebook as a business tool, or Instagram, or thank you.
We see a lot of examples of small entrepreneurs using Instagram as a shop, as a window to the outside where they can publish their products with prices, and where they can update their customer base or their potential customers of promotions and offers. WhatsApp, for example, can be like a communication channel. Instead of having email or calling, for example, via WhatsApp you can ask for a price, you can arrange for delivery, etc., etc. So we see that there are a lot of ways that businesses can take advantage of Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. There are also Facebook pages where businesses can build their own page and where they can keep their followers updated about products and, like I said, promotions and things like that, yeah.
Some features on the business tools about Facebook marketing, like hosting pages. I think it's like something between Facebook and advertising. I think they're still not available, right?
Yes, advertising. I think if you were referring to advertising, for advertising, we understand that payment is the bottleneck. Payment is the problem. And I'm not going to promise you that this is going to be resolved soon, but we are looking at ways to improve that. I give you an example. In Nigeria, we have allowed the local currency to be used as a method of payment for advertising. And so anyone in Nigeria, for example, can use local currency to advertise on Facebook. In Egypt, we have tried something else, which is we sell advertising coupons in shops, like, for example, currency shops or phone shops. We can sell you a coupon that's worth, for example, £100 or £50, etc., and where you can go and redeem the code inside the Facebook. So there is a lot of ways. We will continue to explore that and make it easier for people, but I do understand that it's a current challenge.
I would like to just say sincere thanks to the University of Rطوم, to Zain from Sudan. Unfortunately, my time is short. I have to run to the airport. Again, many thanks for this opportunity. It's been great to have this chance to meet you, and I hope to be able to do it again soon. Thank you.
Mr. Matis, thank you very much. He will leave now, but Mr. Hakim will stay for us with us for a few minutes, so we'll continue the discussion إن شاء الله.
طبعا مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي حقيقة فادتنا كثير، وفادتنا في التواصل مع أصدقائنا، وبقت حتى هي وسيلة الإعلام الجديد. فكثير من القادة والرؤساء في العالم بيستخدموا مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي لنشر الأخبار الرسمية وغير الرسمية إلى آخره. كذلك مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي وفرت لنا أرضية للحوار وتقبل الرأي والرأي الآخر، وكثير من الفوائد. لكن أنا سؤالي حيكون في الجانب الآخر، الجوانب السلبية لمواقع التواصل الاجتماعي. وفي دراسات كثيرة طبية أجرت جامعات أمريكية وغيرها، الدراسات دي توصلت إنه إدمان مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي بيؤدي للتوتر والإجهاد، بيؤدي لاضطرابات في الطعام، بيؤدي لاضطرابات في النوم. فيعني عادي بقول لك مثلا زول لما يكون شغال في الفيسبوك يشوف أحد أصدقائه عايش حياة جميلة وهو في حياة سيئة، قد يعني يصاب بالحسد أو بالغيرة مما يؤثر على نفسيته. كذلك الإدمان بتاع الفيسبوك قد يؤثر على النوم حتى نوم الإنسان. فتلاحظ كثير من الناس في بيوتهم بيقول لك الليلة ولدنا ما نام وساير في الفيسبوك. فأنا داير هل الفيسبوك مهتمة بالجانب ده؟ مهتمة بإن يعني شايلة هم المستخدم على في صحته في نفسياته
ولا انتم ما مختصين بنيتك؟ شكرا لكم.
Thank you for the question. It's a great question. So the question was, is Facebook sometimes can have negative side effects, if I understand the question. You have to look at technology as a whole. So if you go from printing, if you go from the telephone, railroads, cars, all of these are methods that help us connect one another. Facebook is just the next version of this. As with every technology, it is an amplifier of the culture and of society. And there's going to be good and bad, obviously, like in life in general. Like I said, it is an amplifier. But we do care deeply about our users. Obviously, anything in excess is not good. Not connected is not good. Connected 24 hours and not eating and not sleeping and not caring for your children is also not good. There needs to be a balance, like it's everything in life. So we want you to take the benefits of information and knowledge and communication, and obviously to be able to make those choices when you think that something is not good. So we leave it up to each and every individual to make that choice. But we hope that through these platforms we are going to be helping people more than the opposite. Thank you.
اعتقد انه النقاش هيكون مستمر لايك فور ايفر، لانه دي فرصه اعتقد من الفرص القلائل اللي الناس ممكن تلقاها. يعني واحده من اكبر الشركات العالميه، وتقريبا هي الان التوب براند في العالم على ما اعتقد. هي الفيسبوك الان هي التوب براند. يعني فاتت اكسون موبيل كان معروفه زمان، وفاتت كل الشركات العالميه. الان التوب براند في العالم هو فيسبوك، تقريبا من الربع الاخير من السنه اللي فاتت. فانا بحب صراحه يعني الحديث الشيق جدا مع استاذ حكيم. يعني هو صبور جدا واخذ الاسئله واجاب عليها بصوره يعني مقبوله جدا جدا. فانا بشكر الحضور. احنا اخذنا يوم طويل وهم زادوا، يعني حاجه عارف انه اخذ يوم يعني مرهق جدا. فانا بدي الفرصه للدكتور محمود عميد كليه العلوم الرياضيه عشان يختم لنا ان شاء الله.
First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Matthias and Mr. Hakim for being with us, even though for few hours, but I think it is very useful hours to be here. And I would like to thank you very much for sharing with us the Facebook experience. And I hope we may have even more collaboration or research, even for, of course, you are doing a lot of research based on what you have been presented here. And also I would like to thank Zain Group for providing this actually opportunity to air the communication with Facebook people. And I hope we may offer even more collaboration with Zain and Facebook. That will make actually a great benefit of the all of Facebook actually software or maybe facilities that can be provided by Facebook. And I'm hopeful as students here in Rطوم University and even as lecturers and researchers, I hope we are going to make actually use of this opportunity provided by Zain for making actually internet access freely. And yes, I have, at the end I would like to conclude, but still I have one more question for Mr. Hakim. Based on experience of Facebook users here in Sudan, sometimes they may actually detect there is some fake account. And these fake accounts used to, by some of course, we can make call them hackers, but actually they may affect on the life of other people, and that's very bad actually. So is there any possibility from Facebook actually side to detect this actual account and to limit actually the use of this account up to, maybe I know that sometimes because the chat is online, and that sometimes it will be very difficult even to go for preventing and stopping this bad habit. But still, if you can give us some ideas about the tools that you use for detecting and try to trace how you are able to even reach and to detect these fake accounts. And at the end, I would like to thank you all for being with us all these times, and I hope we can see you another time in some activity that provided and conducted by the School of Medical Science. And wish you all the best for the students. I hope you can make use of this freely actually internet access, and I hope you can get a lot of benefit from the tools and all of the software and all of the actual services that are provided by Facebook actually. And I hope we all together, and even our guests, I hope we all the best, and wish we can see you again in either in your course or in School of Academic Science of Zain. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Mahmoud, for the welcoming notes. And thank you, Rطوم University, and thank you, Sudan, as a country, to welcome us in this way. I want to answer Dr. Mahmoud's question, and I want to take it one step beyond. So when you develop products, I'll give you an example. There is a product inside of Facebook that is called Facebook Live. What is Facebook Live? Facebook Live allows anyone to broadcast themselves online in real time. It's like if they have their own TV channel, and anyone in the world can watch them as long as they have a connection to the internet. This can be someone who shows you a recipe. It can be someone who's playing music. It can be someone who's doing a scientific experiment. It can be a lot of things. But it can also be something very bad. It can be someone who's committed suicide. It can be someone who's trying to attempt murder or hit people or do all kinds of violence. How can we as Facebook protect users and protect from this violent and bad content to spread? So we develop artificial intelligence tools to try to detect these things before they spread. So, for example, it will detect in terms of language, the pace of the words, the type of the words that are used. It will also try to detect within the image if there is a body, if there is a gun, if it's skies, or if it's a children. And with the vast amount of information that we have, we are able to compute and predict some of these things, where we try to emulate what the human can do. So a human can see, hear. We're not yet there where a machine can think, but at least we can give the machine capability to almost see and almost hear. So we're using these technologies to stop this content from spreading and for protecting our users. But we also use this technology for avoiding these fake accounts, like you said, because it can also be harmful for the community if people start to create fake accounts to attack other people or to do some other bad behaviors. So, for example, I'll give you an example. We can detect if a person is connecting from the same mobile or if they're from the same SIM, etc. So, when we see those things, we remove these accounts. But we also provide a lot of tools for existing users to report when they see any type of content. Obviously, we cannot do everything on our own, and we rely on the good judgment of our users to report anytime they see a profile that should not be on the platform, or anytime that they see a type of content that should not be there. And I can rest you assured that we have a full team of humans, of eyes, looking at this content. I will give you an example. With 2 billion people globally, we process 120 million decisions per month of content, whether we should take it or no. Can you imagine 120 million decisions per month? And 50% of this content, or 50% of those decisions, are automated. They are done by scripts, algorithms, artificial intelligence, and 50% of them are done by humans. So I can tell you that we strive and we aim for that. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
أنا صراحة بدي أشكر بيرسونال أخواننا صلاح ياسر حمور وإيهاب المعروف عندنا في السكول بإيهاب تينجا. بشكرهم لأنه صراحة السيت اب الحالي والإخراج الحالي وهم اللي اجتهدوا لحد ما المحاضرة اللي قامت فيها بيرسونالي ثانكس يعني. ثانك يو زين، ثانك يو دكتور محمود، ثانك يو دكتور حاسم لأنه هو ما موجود معنا، لكن هم كل التسجيلات الموجودة الآن هم يعني ساهموا فيها. نشكركم جدا، نشكر مستر حكيم، شكرا جزيلا، واتمنى لكم التوفيق في السودان ان شاء الله.